So without further ado, let's continue on to our next panel, which is I will be the MC. So and we will be just like we promise you guys, we will be inviting the three the three the three speaker that we want to bring out and to tell their story, to ask them questions, which is Aelita, Akshat, and also Meilun, because we want to make sure that you guys get every single of it from them, every single gist of it from them. So it's a very great honor for me to be able to talk here, to be able to come and MC here, to panelize everything and asking them questions. So without further ado, let's welcome them to the screen.
Hello.
Hello. Just one quick question before we actually go deep dive into our main questions. How are you guys feelings? Are you guys good?
Super. Feeling lovely. Feeling great.
So, feeling great. Yeah,
Really,
that's wonderful. Because are you guys actually feeling a bit how to say? Warm up for this?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an opportunity for us to share our knowledge, have for some fun, have some time to get the knowledge about you all, and it's gonna be really beneficial for all of us.
About you, Alita? Is there anything you want to share before we actually start?
yeah, I think it's just really interesting to sort of tell people, like, I don't know, my perspective on things. So, like, just and hearing everyone else's perspective, I think is really interesting.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So just want to because we have a not really long time, so I have a general questions for two of you. Will be not so. It's not a very a theoretical questions, but more to on your experience. So like, um, can you share a moment in your journey where you might face significant challenges, right? As an individual who face and achieve recognition and success at a very young age, with those experience that you have with those significant challenge, what advice would you give to other young people who will be watching us in order for these young people that is looking to make an impact in their chosen field?
Right. Mm, it's okay for me if I start.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think obviously everyone will face a lot of challenges in that process, in that journey, and I believe challenges will be a part of your life. Failures will be a part of your life. Obstacles, whatever you can name them, but it's all about what you learn from them. You know, it's a very well said quote which says, "Mistakes increase your experience decreases your mistakes. So if you learn from your mistakes, people will learn from your success. So that is all it is about. The more you learn from your mistakes, the more better you will increase in your life. Because you know your mistakes, your failure gives you something that success does not give you. That is experience. And the more experience you gain in your life, the more forward, the more success you're going to achieve. So I believe this is one of the best advice that I can give you.
Oh, very nice. Well, very well said actually with the quote.
Thank you.
I do also believe that failure is also one's quote was that failure is the best teacher. Oh, just like we have Meilun here, which is our founder of the new gen, also the host for podcast. But I'll reinstate the question back so that you can think while I'll be asking Elita. So the question will be is that of course when you're in your journey you face significant challenges. So in those significant challenges, what with those significant challenges actually, what type of maybe advice would you give to those young people who are looking to make an impact in their chosen field? So that would be the question. So maybe we can give Million some time to think. How about you, Alita? Do you have anything to share on that?
I think that success isn't really linear because a lot of people think that I'm at the start of my career and there's so much that I have to, still do to get where I want to get. But I think it's really, I don't know, unhealthy to think like that, because it really like prompts a lot of fear and things like that. So I think it's just really important to realize that if you're at the start, you're, I don't know, it might sound funny, but you're basically as close to where you want to be as you might be, like, if you're there. Because, I mean, your perception of success is relative to where you are then. But I think that if you're at the very start, all of those, challenges and things that you have yet to learn are amazing, because you can really, I don't know, I really agree with, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Akshat, but like, um, I think, yeah, everything that you have yet to learn is just something so amazing. And it's such a privilege to be before all those things, because they're experiences that are really, that you should really cherish and that are really a part of life. Because yeah, failure is a really great teacher. So yeah.
Uh, Again, well said. Just like we've been through in the pre-call, I think every answer will be well said. Now moving on to our next speaker, we have Meilun. What do you think of it?
Hi. So, referring back to what Aelita says, I think that failure is actually a necessary part of success, because if you don't know the parts that you went wrong, then you'll never know like what parts you need to improve on, right? And without improvement, there's no way that you can, get better at what you do. And there's no way that you can kind of like reach the end goal that you want to. So I think that failure and success, they're kind of like on the same level. You can't have one without the other. So yeah, definitely agree with you, Alita.
Nice. Okay, okay. All right. So moving on to a kind of a following up questions, right? So each of you has made a substantial contribution in your respective areas, right? So how do you think your works or your achievement have the potential to inspire and motivate the next generation of young individual as you guys are maybe look up upon to, and what do you think with those work and achievement? Maybe
Right.
you can
So
start with
I
Akshat. Yeah.
believe, yeah. So I believe that you can say the golden buzzer that I got, or I went to the Ellen DeGeneres show. The ultimate aim for me was to tell people all around the world that do what you like to do, stay happy with what you do, and share happiness by your work, your art. Because I see people all around the world. What they do is they do things that their friends do. They do things what their parents tell them to do. They do things what their teachers tell them to do. They don't understand the fact that they have to ask themselves the question that what do I really want to do? If I am doing this, am I feeling happy? Am I enjoying this? If I am doing this, am I feeling happy? Am I enjoying this? This question of why needs to come inside you, that why am I doing this? Am I doing this because someone is telling me to do this? Or am I doing this because I love to do this? So, the ultimate aim for me, whatever achievement I do in my life, ultimate thought or ultimate result that I want to show everyone, people all around the world, the youngsters, that do what you like to do something that can inspire others and yourself, and do something that can change the world. So the ultimate aim that I want to put in people's mind through my achievement is this.
So just a bit curious about it. So you said about asking yourself about the why questions, right? So how many times did you actually ask yourself the why questions? Was it hard for
So
you to answer it?
right. um I personally believe that this question of why, I first asked myself when I started to dance, because a lot of people said me that you are really fat, you cannot dance. A lot of my teachers, a lot of people I knew, a lot of people, some told me in another way, some really told me that it's going to be really tough for you to do this. You may not become successful in it. But I personally asked myself that am I doing this to become successful? Am I doing this to show others that I can dance, or am I doing this to earning money? The question to all these questions, the answer to all these questions were no. The only thing that I wanted to do was dance and feel happy. So in that process of feeling happy, I was able to inspire others. I was able to show the world that you can do whatever you want to. It does not matter if you are fat, slim, tall, short, black, white. It matters what you do from the bottom of your heart. And you asked me the question of why. So this question of why will come in each and every phase of your life. Whether you go to your exams, whether you go to meet someone, like a question can come: should I meet him? Why am I meeting him? Why am I meeting her? In your work of art, you can ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So this question of why may come in each and every phase of your life. The only thing is the answer should be positive, and if the answer is negative, you can neglect it and do something that you like to do.
I see. So mainly you focus on the main goal of what do you want.
Right,
Yeah, I
right,
see.
right, right.
So moving on, we have Elita and Meilun. You want? Which either one of you want to start first?
I don't know, with my paintings, because like there's so much color and everything in my works, I've always really loved the idea that each painting is really something, grand and massive. And I think that sort of the scale of what you do is because my paintings sort of represent the cosmos and the universe, and I want to show it in a really colorful and beautiful way with, many different animals and things like that, and sort of collages of anything I can find. I want to show that there's no limit or sort of way in which creativity should be expressed. I think that the point is that creativity is exactly what you want to do. Because if you try and say, "Oh, I want to be creative," by conforming to what other people might consider creative, I don't think that that's creativity. I think that it's just when it really comes from you, and it's just something that um, I don't know. It's just really intuitive. So you just have to make sure that, yeah, you really love what you're doing. And I don't know. I just want to show that in my works with all the color and vibrance.
So in those process of thoughts, like when you are painting, right? Have you ever thought that maybe this show some part of life, or in a better way to question it, maybe when you're painting, right? Do you ever imagine that those paintings are actually your life or anyone's life?
I haven't really thought about that. I think that I more see each one of my paintings as sort of a puzzle piece of a universe that I think of, sort of my magical world. And it's just something that really comes from me. And that sort of, I think that, yeah, real success or really getting somewhere like where you want to get to, it really comes from just what you want to do, really, if you absolutely love it. So if you love what you're doing, inherently, you're going to make all of that, work, or you're going to, you know, do like some amazing, I don't know, film or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. Wait, sorry, what did you mean by like the my brain's gone blank. I just
It's okay. So I've been reading there's some type of artists, right? Where whenever they went painting or drawing, right? Sometimes they is like a way for them to show, hey, this is probably uh someone is depressed, or someone is this is the thought of someone who is having a mental disorder, for example. So have you ever, in a way, that when you're painting, right, you are actually showing this is how a person could be, or whenever you're painting, mm, just like the one that the painting behind you is like showing someone life, that it could be a butterfly effect, for example.
yeah, I think that with my paintings, because they're so intuitive, I sort of I don't really realize what some things might represent, or like what emotions that I might have at the time, or like things that might be influencing me. Like I don't understand in what way they impact the painting that I'm making at that very time. But afterwards, when I look back at it, I think this might have impacted this in some way. But it's not really in the way that you would expect. It's not really logical. It's sort of just I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. But I think that that's one of the beautiful things about creativity or doing what you love. It's just it's so unique that sometimes you don't really understand it, but that's all right because I think everyone can just interpret it in a different way. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. Wow. Well, there's a based on view of an artist is, I believe, each and every one of you have a very different perspective on it. So thank you for that. So moving on to Meilun, as we've been quite been long, so I rephrase the question is that with your work, right, with your achievements, so how do you think your work or achievement have the potential to inspire and motivate the next generation of young individuals?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. My organization, we mostly do work with immigrant youth, right? We help them get access to educational resources for STEM and the arts. And I hope that my work, through giving these youth the opportunities, they'll be able to be like inspired to pursue STEM or the arts in whatever career they choose in the future. And I think that the best part about this is that my work is around immigrants, right? So people who just newly came to a country. I hope to be able to inspire them to see themselves, to make a life for themselves in that country, whether that life is centered around STEM or the arts. That's really what my organization, the New Gen, is all about. We want to be able to make a future for those kids in, wherever they choose to go, or whatever career path they choose. We just want them to know that they have the community and the resources to make that happen. Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, because of your how to say, your organization, I think you really relate to this and you are able to see it much more clearly, right? So moving on to much more very specific questions to about each of you is that, let's start with Elita. Is that you winning the title of Global Child Prodigy in the painting and drawing category is significant recognition, right? It's not easy to win some sort like that. A very remarkable achievement, I would say. So, how has this recognition actually impacted, or it has not, your impacted your artistic career and personal development?
It's interesting. I don't think it's impacted the way I paint and draw, but it's made me just, I don't know, really grateful for the recognition that I've gotten, because I love painting so much. So I'm not sure how to answer it. It's just so special to me to actually realize that I've won that award at, like, me and 99 other children. So it's really amazing, I think.
I see. Well, it's totally an amazing journey, right? To win that. I will not even imagine myself winning a, and being, category, winning something in category or being creative. Just one more questions is that you hold an solo exhibition at the age of 2, and it is an astonishing achievement. Can you share with us a bit, like how that opportunity came about and what were your feelings when you heard about that and your experience?
The thing is, because I was so young, I don't really remember a lot of it, but I know that my parents basically, I mean, when I first started painting, that was when I was 9 months old, but I really like, they really loved what I did, so they took it to uh yeah, a gallery in Melbourne. And the gallerist, I mean, he didn't ask like what the age was of the artist. My parents just brought the artworks to him, and he only realized that it was done by a 2-year-old afterwards, because he just liked the paintings. So I don't know, that was, I think it's just a real miracle that that happened, and I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, I think just growing up like that, it's been, I don't know, I'm only really starting to comprehend the weight of everything now, because earlier I almost, I mean, my first memory was when I was, that already happened. So I think it's just, I don't know, it's really interesting, like how, yeah, now is the only time that I'm really understanding that. So I don't know, it's just really
Wow.
exciting.
I mean, everything just happened so fast, right?
Yeah.
I okay. There's just one thing that I'm really curious about when when you all of being painting and stuff, right? So your artistic career has been both prolific and impressive. So, is there any upcoming projects or any artistic endeavor that you are currently working or planning for the future?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm planning on having an exhibition in either New York or South Korea next year, and it's basically going to be a bit of a retrospective show, also showcasing some new works that I'm working on. So some polymer faces and different sculptural works that I'm doing. So yeah, I'm working on that, and I've been like really busy on it, but I'm so excited. So it should be really fun.
Wow, I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully, I will be able to see it. Kudos to that. So, before let's move on to let's go to Akshat, right? Akshat, your presentation is about live without fear. So, is there any reason why you choose this topic?
So the topic is, live without fear. So people are afraid of a lot of things in especially today's world, and especially young children who want to really do something at a really young age are mostly afraid of the fact that what happens if they fail. This is not because of the fact that it comes to them. They are surrounded by people who may tell them that, I had a friend of mine who was doing this and that. He also had great aim. He also had a great target. But in that process, he failed, and now he is not quite doing anything. So after listening to this, a child may have this thought in his mind that, what if I fail? Will I also be the same as him? What will my parents say if I fail? What will my friends say if I fail? What will the society say if I fail? So they have this fear in their mind that comes into them. And this is what I want to break off. This is the thing that I want them to come out of that shell of fear. And I want them to understand the fact that it is okay to fail, because failing is a part of life. And at the end of the day, you will have to accept the fact that in order to be successful, you have to fail, because failure is the essence of success. If you want to shine like the sun, you have to burn like the sun. So that is what the failure is, that is what the struggle is, that is what the grind is. And that failure, that moment of failure, is going to define the fact that how successful are you going to be in your life. So this fear of failure is what I want to get rid of. And I want people to get rid of this fact that what will happen if I fail. So the day this fear goes out of people's mind, they can do whatever they want to in their life.
I see. So, there's this tie with winning a golden buzzer on Britain Got Talent, right? Do you like get rid of the fears instantly, or what was it? What was the process on entering Britain Got Talent?
So for Britain's Got Talent, I got a call from them actually for to participate in that event, because I already did India's Got Talent. That is one of their brand, and obviously going to Britain's Got Talent was a lovely experience for me. I had seen a lot of videos of Britain's Got Talent. I had seen moments in which we win the golden buzzer. So that moment, especially for me to win the golden buzzer, was a astonishing one. That went, really fast. It all just happened, and after some time, like half an hour, 1 hour, I realized the fact that, man, I just won the golden buzzer. Just like Alita said, that at that point of time you don't quite remember it, but afterwards these thoughts come to you that, oh man, I just won that. So it was a lovely experience, something that I learned a lot from. And it was like a stepping stone for me in order to, it was a gateway for me, you can say, to share my thoughts with the world, because it's a global platform, it's a world platform. The world sees that show, that talent show. So it was a lovely experience, a lovely stage for me. And yeah, I felt really, really, really good.
Wow. I mean, not everyone can win a golden buzzer on Britain Got Talents. A remarkable achievement, of course. So, another question is that, um, what other advice would you give to other young individuals to, or any key or any special key that you think that most people need to overcome fear, or just become positive or successful, basically?
Right. So a lot of people, the first thing is, it is already great enough to know that you already have a thought of becoming great. You already have a thought of changing the world. That thought coming to your mind is itself a really big achievement. Secondly, the thing is that look, it's a big target. It's a really big aim that you want to achieve. It's a really big goal that you want to go for. So at first, it may look really big, really tough, and really massive. And you may think it's going to take a lot of time. I may fail in that process. This can happen, that can happen. So instead of looking directly at that goal, you should first look at the first step. Like in school, we start with the first grade, then we go to the second grade, then third grade, then fourth grade. Same as in life, you have to go each and every level, understand that level, and then go to the next level. If you think at first that I want to go over there, what will happen, how to go directly. So there are no shortcuts in that way. If you take a shortcut, you will be successful, but that's not gonna change anything. Not gonna change the world. So if you want something that has a great impact on the world and the younger generation, then you have to think big and you have to think step by step. So I believe if you go step by step, it's a long term process, but I believe it's an investment that you will be doing today, and the return you will be getting over the years. This is the first advice, and the second thing will be have faith. Have faith in God Almighty, because hard work, having patience, being honest, being punctual, having discipline is a part of this process. Obviously, everyone is going to say you that, but having faith in that supreme power is really necessary, because there are some things that are out of our hand, that are out of our power. For example, today I want to go to Malaysia for an event, and my flight is at 1:30, but it started to rain at that time and the flight cannot take off. So this rain is to stop that rain is not in my hand. It is in the hand of God Almighty. So if you have faith in him, if you pray to him, and if you just uh, keep him in your mind, you never know, things may happen. Miracles can happen that you cannot even think of. And most importantly, having faith in him, believing in him, will give you a really important thing that you don't quite find in today's world, that is peace in your mind, positivity in your mind. And till the time you are peaceful, till the time you are full of positivity, I don't think anything can stop you from becoming successful.
So, do you think, just a follow up questions, do you think meditation is important in this case?
Yeah, I believe that it's something that's really tough to do. I won't lie, because you try it a lot of times, but it does not happen because you are not able to quite focus. You get distracted by this, by that. So if you can meditate, even if for you say 10 minutes, that's a lovely thing. That's gonna drastically change you. You won't see it, but people who know you will say, "Oh, you have changed a lot." It may take time, but it's a lovely thing to do if you can do it.
I see. Thank you for that. All right.
Thank you.
So, we have to move on because of time. We have to ask now the Meilun, which is, if I'm not mistaken, right? I heard one thing is that Meilun is actually translated, is actually named pretty. Is that correct?
Um, yeah, I think that my name doesn't have a meaning without my sister's name, actually. So I have a twin sister. She's also going to be speaking at this event, coming up, though not at this time. Um, so together, her name is Mei Huan. My name is Meilun. Together, Meilun Mei Huan. I think, yeah, the meaning is like pretty or like magnificent, I think.
I see.
Hard to live up to, that's for sure. But yeah, my name actually doesn't really have a meaning without my sister's name. So
But still, it's a very beautiful name. So,
thank you.
going to the main question is that, so your let's talk about your organization first to the audience. So, could you tell us more about the inspiration behind starting the new gen and how it actually aims to benefit immigrant and indigenous youth in Canada?
Yeah, for sure. So I started the new gen during the pandemic when I was in 10th grade, so around 15, 16 years old. And the inspiration was I wanted to give back to my community, especially since I myself am an immigrant. So I know the struggles of what it's like to move to a new country and not know anyone. And I want to make that experience better for other people like me. So I started the New Gen. And what we do is we offer tutoring and mentorship programs for immigrant youth in the fields of arts and STEM. So we provide them with like a new interest in an academic topic. We also give them like a community that they can connect with, a mentor that they can network with, and other students that they could be friends with. And that's like the impact that we hope to create on immigrant students as well. We recently started working with Indigenous students in Canada because we recognize that they're also a really marginalized community, and we wanted to provide opportunities for them. Recently, we hosted an art display for Indigenous students where we shipped down all of their artwork to Toronto to put on this display. And it was really cool seeing all the parents drive down to see their kids' art being displayed. So that was a really touching moment. Yeah.
So throughout those experiences, right? What are the unique? Is there any unique challenges faced by the immigrants or Indigenous youth in Canada? And if so, right, how does the new Jan address these challenges effectively?
Right. So, one of the biggest challenges for Indigenous youth, and I don't identify as Indigenous, so I can't really speak on their behalf accurately. But I'd say from like a general perspective, not like a specific perspective, one of the issues that they face is definitely location. A lot of Inuit and Indigenous youth live not really close to major cities. So in Canada, there's like three northern territories, right? There's like Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. It's close to like the Arctic. And a lot of the communities, Indigenous communities and Inuit communities that live there are really remote and they're not connected to big cities. So it would be hard for artists to expand their audience. Um, and one of the things that we do is we provide a network for artists to bring their work down south to Toronto, which is pretty far away. That way, the artists can gain a new audience for their art, especially those who do commission work, who sell their pieces. It's very helpful for them to kind of gain a new customer base. So we do help address that issue with like being remote and living far from a major city. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I mean, there's a very see, just it's just so mind-boggling in those each and of you actually. Very mind-boggling in terms of what you guys doing, what you guys trying to solve, and Aelita, your creativity, of course, in that sense, just mind-boggling. I have one word that is just mind-boggling. So just want to go to a very general questions we have from the audience actually is that one thing is that what do you think of this generation? Anyone want to go first?
Um, oh, sorry. I think that it's interesting. A lot of people really underestimate the negative effects that like technology is having, and I mean, I'm really addicted to my phone and laptop and everything, but I think that like it really distances you from other people generally, and like I don't know, I feel like it sort of shallows people's like emotions nowadays, like this generation, and I think that I don't know, it's really important to understand like that you're actually in this physical space, and if you're doing something like on a screen or whatever, I think it should be something that really truly makes you happy, like drawing or something like that, or making music, because those things should be used like correctly. I think that a lot of people misuse them, and then also with social media, humans haven't evolved to deal with so many different opinions of them at once if they're showing their like general life, unless it's their art or something like that. So that can give them a lot of anxiety and give them less motivation to want to pursue something, because they're just so insecure because of all the opinions that they've received earlier.
Yeah. Right. Akshat. I think Akshat wanted to
Yeah,
speak.
I'll go. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I believe uh, today's generation has got a lot of opportunities, a lot of exposure, especially because of the fact that the technology has increased. We have got something new, that is social media, and it has increased to a different level. But I believe with everything that has something good, it also has something bad. So till the time we keep in mind what's good for us, we stick within the lines. We have that one particular goal we want to achieve, and if we don't get distracted, there is no problem that we should face in the future. And I personally think that one thing that a lot of people may have maybe missing, may not have thought about, is we need to give things back to our society, what we take from them. We need to respect everyone, because I see people in today's generation that they go up in their life, they become successful, and then they forget the people within them. But they don't understand the fact that no matter how beautiful a car is, without its wheels, it's of no use. So these people, our parents, our guru, the people who have always supported us in our lives, are these wheels. And one of the most important that a lot of youngsters lack today is self confidence. They are not that confident in today's world. They are really afraid to come up and speak in front of people. And so I get this lovely quote which says that success is a vehicle which moves on the wheel named hard work, but the journey is impossible without the fuel named self confidence. So, self confidence is one of the biggest weapons you can have that can help you achieve things that you cannot even think of. Because, there may be a time in your life when the world will be against you. And this self confidence will help you to achieve things even if nobody wants you to. But if you are hollow from inside, if you do not have this self confidence in you, then even if the world is with you, you cannot achieve whatever you want to. So yeah.
Just adding something on to what Akshat and Aelita said. As someone who's 17 and part of like this young generation, I guess, I think that one thing people think about us is that, we're lazy, we're, arrogant. Sometimes we are not as informed as we like to think we are. But I'd say that the one thing that really sticks out about my generation is that we're really passionate. If you ask any young person in this generation, hey, if you faced an issue that you were really passionate about, if you faced an issue that you really cared about, would you do something about it? Most of the time, they're going to say yes, because I feel like this generation is just so full of fire. And because of technology kind of enables them to be independent and to do things at a younger age. um, However, just like Akshat says, there's the good and there's also the bad. I think the bad part about this is that we're too impatient. We want things too fast. We're not willing to, I guess, play the long game. We're not willing to put in the extra work to see it happen. We want results like instantly. We want it now. And I think part of that is because of social media and technology and the advancement of technology, where we come to expect everything to be instant. But real life is different from online, and real change cannot be instant. There needs to be work, and there needs to be progress, and I think that's something my generation should understand. Yeah.
Uh, I think very well said from three of you. I think it's because of you guys have a very deep experience in your respective fields, and that's why you're. Or I think you guys are at the very top of your fields, and that's why you guys are be able to understand much more, right? Deeper in that sense, or deeper than other person, because you're just basically like very top of the whatever you are doing, right? So think one questions to kind of wrap it up, right? So in the pursuit of your passions and causes, right, there must be a core value, right? So like what core values or principle have guided your action, and how will you guys recommend the next generation to incorporate these values in their own life? And this is a general question for three of you. Anyone want to start first? Maybe
I'll go.
Akshat? Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So the only thing that I believe that can help the future generation, I think they quite have a lot of things. One thing that's really important is learning from wherever you can, gaining knowledge from wherever you can. Because I see a lot of kids today, if you tell them something to do, maybe it's their ego or something that comes within them and they don't want to listen. They are like, yeah, I already know it. So this is something that can help them, because it says that learning leads you to creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes you great. So this process, it starts with the root, that seed, that is learning. So learn from wherever you can. Does not matter. It's a book, it's someone you're talking to, it's a security guard in your building, it's your teacher, it's your mom, it's your dad. Learn from wherever you can, because you never know that learning may help you in which part of your life, in which phase of your life. So learn as much as you can and apply it in your life, and that's gonna help you. So yeah.
Okay. Anyone wants to add on for that?
Yeah, for sure. So, thank you, Akshat. That was really insightful, and I think that's very true. Especially with like, what I said earlier about young people, they're taking things too fast. I think that if they slow down and they learned, like you said, then it would teach them that there's a process to be done. I think that one thing that young people should be doing right now is to really not let fear or difficulties discourage them. Yeah, discourage them, because I think that making a difference as someone who's young, there's a lot of things that do go wrong, and there's a lot of fear of things going wrong. But I think that if you put that aside and you manage to power through that fear and to learn from mistakes and beat the difficulties that you face, and you can be just as successful as anyone who's older than you. Because I don't think that age really should be a barrier when making change. I think that every individual has the potential to make a difference, and age is just a label that people put in front of you. So I think that for young people, it's really important to see past the fear of like age or whatever else they face and realize that they're just the same as anyone else who wants to make a difference. They're just the same. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So we have Lovely's, we have Aelita to wrap it up. What do you want to see?
Um, yeah, I really agree because I think that you're just a person, and you need to really understand that like anything, because I think that if someone says like I don't know, any sort of label like age or anything else, that really is just a label. I mean, it's just like something that people attach to you, but you need to really, I think that the most clarity you can really get is just by looking at something the way it is, not thinking about anything that might be attached to it, just what it actually is. So you need to really look at yourself and just think about yourself and think, okay, what am I? And just really understand what your objective or like purposeful feeling is. And you need to make sure that you're just really free in that you don't, if anyone tells you that you can't do something or you should do something a certain way, I mean, unless you're going against what you actually think, just do the opposite of what they say, I think, because you just have to be really just unique and make sure that you're doing everything that you want to do, because I don't know, that's just so important to be different, to make change. So yeah.
See, I think all of this was a very good wrap it up. And unfortunately, we have a little bit more questions from the audience. Unfortunately, we won't be able to bring it up as we are coming to an end of the time. So, is there any last word that you guys would love to say to anyone that are currently watching actually to your conference?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank
You
you.
can say.
So I'm aware that there's a lot of students who are watching this conference right now, high school and some university students. And as a student myself, currently in 12th grade in high school, I just wanted to, speak to my peers out there to tell them that, whatever that you're thinking, what your dreams are, what motivates you, it's not impossible to do, no matter what other people tell you or no matter what you might think. If you start today, then you're already on day one of achieving whatever that you were set on doing. So I want you to reflect on that and to think, maybe I can. This is something I can start today. And day one's always going to be the toughest, but the world needs more young leaders out there. We need more young entrepreneurs. We need more young musicians, young artists. We need more young founders of nonprofits and groups and all of that. So we do definitely need you to take that first step.
Well, Akshat wanted to.
So I just wanted to say that, look, in life, you're gonna meet a lot of people who are gonna give you a lot of advice, a lot of things. Like I am giving you, Alita is giving you, Meilun is giving you, Monique is giving you, a lot of people. But till the time it does not come from within you, that's of no use. If someone is forcing you to do something, if I am telling you today that read a lot of books, learn a lot, gain a lot of knowledge, so if you're doing it because I am telling you to do it, then it's of no use. If it's coming from within you, if your mind is really telling you, your heart is really telling you that, yes, it's going to be a little bit of fun, let's try it. Let's see what happens. So then that result, then that fun, then that enjoyment in that journey will be there. If that energy is not coming from within you, no use. If someone is putting it, you are trying to take it out from yourself, then just don't do it. And the last thing that is, it's a good quote. I wanted to share it with you all. It goes like, never take rest after your first win, because if you lose the second time, lips are ready to say that your first win was just enough. Thank you. Take care. Be happy.
Oh. So, Elita, do you have any last words? Last words, actually, for everyone's.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I just think a lot of people nowadays don't understand. I don't know. This is really said a lot, and I think that it's sort of people say it too much, but I think people don't really understand how um, beautiful life is and how all those challenges that you might face in trying to get to your career are something not just essential to actually getting where you want to get, but it's also something really amazing. I think that that can be so fun because you're alive and you're experiencing all those fun challenges that come with that, and it's really precious because when you get where you want to get, you're going to look back on all those challenges and really reflect on what you've learned from them. So just yeah, you're going to realize how amazing it is.
Thank you. All right, I guess. That, I'm just lost at words actually because three of you guys give a very good answers and a very thoughtful advice to everyone actually because looking up at the live chat and the comment right now in YouTube, everyone is saying thank you so much for all of you for sharing your advice, giving your thoughtful honest advice to them. All of them are they appreciate it, they just appreciate all each and one of you a lot. So unfortunately we have come to an end of this panel. So with that, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for joining Ascendance today, and combining and participating with us today. So thank you for that. Thank you, Meilun. Thank you, Aelita, and thank you, Akshat.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Muni. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thanks to Ascendance for giving us this platform, and we enjoyed it a lot. Thank you, Sanat. Thank you, Maha. Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It was really fun.